What is up, everybody? It's your boy Brian from Brian's Custom Auto coming at you today with a new video on this guy. That front end's starting to look a lot better, ain't it? Well, it's time to get it pulled in so we can put the new oil pump in it. So let's get right on it. I'm gonna pull it right on inside that hole right there on this brisk, cool day. Hang tight, guys. So what we've got going on here is a couple things, actually. Picking back up where we left off is the whole time I ran this truck, no signs of an oil pump issue. Go through and put new heads and all that on it just to figure out that the oil pump's no good. So now we got to pull all that back off again to put oil pump in it. But that's okay because we're going to pull this fan shroud out. We got to build a new bracket for this cooler here. And yeah, get all that done. Because we got the new shrouded cooling fans, twin fans. We got the power probe set up and we got the relay set up. So all that's going to work well together, I believe. Bringing you up to date, we completely took the supercharger out and cleaned every section a bit. We cleaned all the injectors, put a brand new set of heads from Cylinder Head International on this truck. We ordered a set of cams from Johnny Lightning Performance and didn't use them. So I still have those if anybody's interested in a set of Ford Lightning camshafts for a 2-valve. Let's see, we did the EGR delete. And we're going to put a catch can over in here. But primarily the goal is just to get this back together to where it can run and drive without losing oil pressure. Because last thing I want to do is cook a set of main bearings or cook another head. So that being said, guys, we put new timing chains, timing gears. I did the tensioners and guides in it as well. So yeah, we've done a lot of work on this. Now it's time to go back in and take all this back apart and start over. Kinda. All right, hang tight, guys. All right, guys. So it's actually been 2 days since I started this. Yeah, I know I'm slacking, but we had Dusty here yesterday. Dusty came and worked for a couple of hours on the supercharged F-150. He was excited about that because he's never worked on a supercharged F-150. A lot of people hadn't. But anyway, so here we are. It's a couple days later. And before we go too far, I want to take a moment and represent this flag right here. My buddy Felix, his mother's in the hospital, and it don't look like she's doing all that great from what I can understand. So everybody in my plethora of people, please, please, please say a prayer that she pulls through this, okay? Felix is very close with his mother, and so is his brother. And seems to be a really awesome lady. I've kind of talked with her a couple times. She don't really speak English, so it's kind of hard for me to speak to her. But the couple times we have kind of spoke back and forth, she's a really sweet lady, and I just think everybody needs to say a prayer for her, okay? Pray that she gets through this heart condition that she's got going on. She's in the hospital right now. Okay, so thank you for that, for those of you who do. Now, moving on, back to the F-150. So as I said, Dusty was out here yesterday. He got this valve cover loose for me, and it's back off, and nobody's out of there. And they say you can do this without taking the valve covers off, but I'm going to lock the cams. So I still have to take that valve cover off, but as you can see, everything else is loose, and then we'll get that front cover off. But I'm going to lock these cams in place because I want to make definite sure that we don't have a problem with it jumping time. So, okay, we're going to do that. But so far, everything in there looks really, really good. So, heck yeah. Means it wasn't starving for oil the little bit it has ran. But once I get done with this part, yeah, it ain't going to starve for oil ever again. So let's get that valve cover off and then get the front cover off. All right, so we got the timing cover off. This is what I did, guys. Now, the first time I did this, I did not do it this way. And I learned a very valuable lesson while putting this back together, of knowing where all the bolts go. I had to follow the book. Yes, I used the book. This time, I just did that. Now, I'm not sponsored by the company, but there's a company called Bolster that Junkyard Digs uses. They have these really cool latex, I guess it is, things that you can put the bolts in the orientation of how they go. So that way you know which way to go back. If I had one, I would use it, but I don't, because I'm not sponsored by companies like they are. I'm sponsored by two companies. One is Super Clean, and they get to send me free product. And the second company, y'all ready for this one? It's special. It's called Myself Inc. Yep. So, anyway, yeah, we got a floor full of parts now. And we're going to lay this right down on top of that. And now I will go get the cam locks and install those. I was wanting to make sure we were at, somewhere close to dead on timing. And guess what? I nailed that one. I nailed that one just by accident. So, we'll see what happens. Usually if something goes too right like this, it usually bites me in the butt. But anyway, so let's get the cam locks on and go from there. All right, so with about 3 hours of work, we finally got this old janky oil pump out. Ooh, I gotta move that. Spilling oil on my welding glove. I had to put the welding glove there. Crap. We got oil dripping everywhere. We struck gold, baby. I'm about ready to move my family to California. Look, we got oil all over the place. I'm going to have to add 2 quarts of oil to this truck just from all the oil I'm spilling. Anyway. All right. So, what we've got here, besides a failure to communicate, is a very original product of Ford oil pump. Okay, now on the back of this you can take it apart. You can see how everything, it still moves, it still seems like it would pump, but it's okay, because what we have is a milling replacement. So guys, I'll explain this to you as best I can. So, you see I got my camera on down there because I was having to use it to see that right-hand bolt on that. Because you can't see it otherwise unless you pull the oil pan completely off. Now, aside from that, I do want to put my camera in there and check everything else. But, I did run my camera in there before. I'm going to run my camera in there again. But the biggest thing is, guys, that bolt on the right-hand side is so hard to get to. All you can do is touch it with your fingertips. And this truck has all the bars under it, so I can't fit my fat behind between them. We are going to replace that O-ring because we have a new one. And when you have a new O-ring, well, what do? You put a new one in. Alright? But once we get that oil pump on here and bolted back up, then the rest of it just flies back together. And then we have a good running, driving truck. As long as I can get... I got the cams locked. The crankshaft didn't move. So as long as I put it all back together just like it is, it should stay perfectly fine. Right? Right. That's what we're going to say. So, anyway. That's where we be. So we're going to fidget this back in there. And then we're going to play with that supercharger again. I hope. Alright guys, we're back. It's another day. Had to take a couple days off. Take care of some stuff. And take care of my child. But we got out here this morning. Now where we left off at was trying to get that stupid new oil pump on. I had to take a break from that. Let me show you what we did this morning. So at this particular moment, you can see the chains are back on. The new oil pump is in. If it'll focus, there we go. New oil pump is in, guides on, chains on. Boy, what aggravating pain in the nuts that is. Anyway, we got the first cam lock off. It's right here. And we're in the process of taking the second cam lock off right there. But because we locked the cams in place and didn't change any of the timing, simply putting the chains back on should do the trick. Like, it shouldn't be out of time from that. I'm hoping and praying it's not. But everything I've seen on this says that as long as you don't move any of it and just put it all back together like that, that it should be fine. So we're going to hope that it is. Anyway, let's go ahead and get that other cam lock off. And yeah, it's time to put this beast back together. Now both cam locks are back together. And that's all there is to it. Some of you guys might be able to make something like that, but for the money, you can get the kit that comes with both of these cam locks and the crankshaft alignment pin. You have to have this to do the job. I mean, that's all there is to it. You cannot do this job without having these. Oh. So we'll stick those back in the drawer there in case I ever have to mess with another F-150. I don't anticipate that happening, but you never know. You can see I kept that grill covered up. Now, I will say this. Getting the pickup tube on the bottom of that oil pump is absolute murder. Okay? The reason being is because I have to stand on a crate because I'm short. And you have to lay across this thing. And you see I got a welding glove right here. That's because under that welding glove is the hood latch. And if you don't know, that hood latch sets perfect right inside your belly button and stabs. And then this rides right across your rib cage, which hurts really bad. So, that's the aches and pains of it. Okay? Okay. Now, moving on, we are going to start. We got to put the RTB down in that corner and that corner. And then start putting the timing cover back on. And then from here, it should go fairly quick. So, let's see. All right, guys, let's see where we're at now. We got valve covers on. That one was easy. This one, oh my God. But anyway, valve covers are on. Dipstick tubes hooked back up. I've got to still hang that stuff back up. And now we're ready to start putting on front accessories. I got the bottom pan bolts in. Everything lined up good. Everything worked out good. So yeah, we're at the point. However, I've got to stop now because I also got to hook that crank sensor up, but we'll get that in just a minute. But yeah, it's time for me to stop because the wife and I have plans to go somewhere. We considering getting rid of the BMW to get her something newer with way less miles on it. Because those of you who know, that BMW has been from one side of the map all the way to the other. And it's done great. No complaints. So, it is what it is. But now, we're going to go see about trading it in on something a little newer. And for those of you who don't know, I got a new vehicle too. And that's the Trailblazer SS. And you'll see that in an upcoming little short video I'll be showing you. Actually, you'll probably see it before you see this. So, if you watch my videos, you will have already seen it. So, anyway. So, that's going to stop it for today. We're already at the end of the day. And I'll bring this back just first thing in the morning so we can get it finished up and get it fired up and make sure that oil pump's going to pump like it's supposed to. God, I hope it does. But anyway, I got to go get cleaned up and all that jazz, and we will talk to you guys in the morning. All right, new day, new day. We already been back out here on it. Of course, I'm doing work on it, not showing you guys because I'm just mean like that. We got that power steering pump back on. As you can see, the canister flipped over and it all spilled out. Luckily, we got super clean, so it'll clean that up. But we went ahead and got the new belt back on it. Got all the pulleys back on for the drive belt. Now it's time to put the supercharger on, or supercharger belt. and pulleys back on. Yay. So that's fairly simple. You see them 2 studs down at the bottom, one on that corner, one on that corner, and then there's a 10 millimeter that goes up just above that. And then the supercharger pulley itself threads into the crankshaft pulley. That's where the bottom of the supercharger belt goes, and of course it goes between the 2 pulleys up here and then up to the top with the tensioner. Real simple. So I'll show you that in just a minute. All right, because that supercharger pulley is kind of heavy, I went ahead and started it on just to show you. And I was backwards on that. The extra bolt goes over here, the 10 millimeter. It goes right there. But anyway, so you have a post down there, the post down here, and then the 10 millimeter up here. Now, as you see, there's a gap in between there. That's because you have to screw this in. And remember what I said, it's reverse threads. So we're just gonna roll that in like that. You see that gap closing? Just keep going. All right. Now then. Now we need to put this big honking, this is a 14 millimeter Allen wrench. So most people don't have Allen wrenches quite this large. And I'll be honest, the only reason I do is because a family member, when they moved, gave me a bunch of tools. So I'm gonna tap this a few times and then put the nuts on here and then the bolt in there, and we shall move on with the supercharger belt. Hang tight. All right, guys, we got it back together. I haven't put the breather tube on yet, but that's okay. This truck will run without it. We've got everything back in. I haven't filled this up with coolant yet, but it'll still crank up and run. Got the mass airflow sensor, or not the mass airflow. Got the crankshaft position sensor hooked up. Got the camshaft sensor hooked up. And I spun it over just to see if it would build up some oil pressure. And yeah, it started to. So let's see where we're at. Make sure this thing fires back off. It should. I'm a little nervous about this because of them timing chains. Turn the key on there. And next step, guys, is to get this thing cleaned out. Let me switch hands here because you got to have 2 hands to do this. Idling back down, starting to anyway. Overlook power steering pump. Sounds good. Oil pressure's up there. That oil pressure's pretty good there. Now, I mean, we'll have to see what it does once it heats up, but yeah. Let's make sure we don't have no leaks or nothing. Let's see. Oh! Everything looks good under here. Let's see. See them beautiful headers in there. A little bit of oil burning off, but nothing major. So yeah. All right, let's finish getting this beast back together. All right, we got her getting all the way up to temperature. Everything's sounding really, really good. Burning off some of the hand grease. Got the power steering filled up. Got the top half of the tube in, the bottom half is over here soaking with the super clean. We had to put the factory fan back on it because the cooling fans right here, 1, are too big, and 2, when I pulled it out of the box, this whole ear's busted. So we're gonna send those back. We've got nothing dripping underneath, starting to build up some good temperature here. As you can see right here, we got the mass airflow sensor unhooked. Probably gonna have to get a new one, just saying. But keep in mind, guys, we got long tube headers on here and the high flow cats. I want to give you guys an exhaust sound. So hang on. All right, let's see how good that sounds when I give it some gas. Full oil pressure, all the way up to temperature. All right, so we got the base cleaned up, scrubbed up, put back together, tops on there. Now we need to get this guy here and put it in. We're using that Macro Guard. For your F-150 will be MGA 42572. We'll throw this bad boy in there, brand Hammer new. Which, in case you don't know, is a PITA, which is an acronym, P-I-T-A. I'm sure most of you can figure out what that is. And also, it takes 2 hands to put that in there. So, we're going to do that here in just a second. You'll notice the mass airflow sensor still is not hooked up. That's because we have a new one on the way. Called O'Reilly's. O'Reilly's had one for $135. Went online, found the same exact one O'Reilly's has for $35. That comes with the whole neck down and everything, which is great. So we'll get that and put it in as soon as it gets here. But in the meantime, we can put this filter in. And guys, the truck is running. I mean, that's all there is to it. We are done with the engine. We are absolutely finished with the engine. Matter of fact, let's pop this magnet off. Ooh, y'all didn't see that. These really powerful little magnets are great. Move the towel. There's that beautiful front end. Look at there. Got the new fog lights in, got the new headlights in. So guys, next step, let me get that top cover down, put some air in that back tire, and we will take it for a test drive. Not a long test drive because it don't have tag and insurance on it. And I still have to put the inner fender well on this wheel here, which is what those screws up there are, but we can do that in a minute. I just want to take this thing for a test drive. So hang tight. All right, we got that box in there, and now we have this cover here that needs to go on. It just flops up in here some sort of way. Let's see. I bet I can fit. Oh man, I gotta take that 8mm bolt out. It goes under there. And then the rest of it, guys, is push pins. So, yep. See? Push pin there, and all those are laying up there on that table. So 8mm and fix like that. Now that's together. Now guys, keep in mind we're going to do a big cleanup on all this when I'm done with all the rest. But this is a let's just get it running thing right now and go from there. Hood's down. We got to paint that hood seriously. So, anyway, all right. So I got to air up that back tire, and then we can take it for a test drive. All right, guys, we're backing out for the first test drive after the new oil pump's in. Back that stupid camera out. Got everything on except for that mass airflow sensor, so everything should work good. Let's see how this goes. Y'all keep an eye on that oil pressure gauge for me. Well, people will not get over, will they? Nothing? Nothing? Oh, she's stout. Huh. I just want to make sure we ain't going to overheat or anything like that. So far, we're doing really, really good. Got some strange smells coming up. I think that one smell I'm smelling is, you know, rubber. It does a little bit. Oh. Did it do it? It's trying to do it again. Now, guys, that is crazy. Now that's horse crap. There's no way. Okay, ladies and gents, we're back. Now we think we've got the oil pressure gauge down to a wiring issue. So what we've done is order a boost gauge. Now I know you're thinking by this point, well, boost gauge ain't gonna help you figure out why there's the oil pressure's fluctuating. Fact is we put a new sending unit. We've done the oil, we've done the guides, we've done the rods, we've done the tensioners, we've done the oil pump, cleaned out the oil pan, cleaned out the pickup tube, I mean, there's nothing else it can be. So, we are going to put 2 gauges on the A-pillar up there, okay? And since I've already got to run them, why not run 2? So we're putting an oil pressure and a boost gauge on the A-pillar. That will be here Tuesday, so that'll be in another video. But right now, we're going to go ahead and work on the exhaust, okay? Okay. So, in case you don't remember, we put the long tube headers on here with the collectors, aka catalytic converters. And we ordered 2, down there, 1, 2, Jones mufflers, which are a cheaper version of a Flowmaster. But guys, I've ran these Jones mufflers before and they are awesome. So we're going to do that. We've got to fix that tailgate handle. We've got a set of rods and I've got to find a new lock tumbler for this. We're just moving right on along, guys. There's a lot of work to do on this truck and I'm doing it all by myself. So, yeah. So, let's get the mufflers on. We'll weld them in and then go from there. So, yeah. All right, guys, so you got to overlook my mess in the background. But to replace the handle, what we've got here, and I'm not sure where this came from, it was ordered, but okay, Kraken. But we got the chrome, Daddy. Sure ain't nothing else in here, okay. So we got the chrome one. For some reason, what's on this truck is initially was black, but I believe this will be just fine. It's cheap plastic, but it is what it is. It should work just fine. So now in order to get into here to replace that, we've got to take all these screws out, all 6 of them. So let me get my Torx bits and my gun and we'll get at it. I think I've got the right sizes here. Let's see. There we are. Don't necessarily need an extension on that. Fords have always been notorious for the handles busting. So you always at some point end up having to do this. Take that, set it up inside the bed there. And now, here, come here and look and I'll show you how this works. So what you've got here is you've got a 10 millimeter there and there, okay? And then these 2 rods here have to pop out. We'll get these rods out first, and then we'll drop them 2 10 millimeters out, and then the handle comes straight out from the bottom. New handle sets right in. Actually, when we get this handle out, we're going to have to change the locking mechanism from this handle over to that one. So that's all there is to it. Now I say that and I'm going to end up spending 6 hours doing this. All right, guys. So the locking mechanism, this little pin right here goes around both sides of this, okay? And I'm glad I stopped that to show y'all. Anyway, the locking mechanism goes around that groove at the top and at the bottom, okay? Using your pick, you just simply pry it out and then grab on that little lip there and then pry back this way and the pin will come out. At which point you simply push and this whole tumbler comes out. Now, when it goes back into this side, you do not have to pull that pin because it's beveled, okay? So you simply push it in until it clicks, okay? Now, at which point, this, because we're setting and holding it the right way, we will slide this in. You got to go at an upward angle like that, okay? And see how everything lines up in there? And the bolt holes are right there, and you just get it centered in there. And then that, which I can't do with just one hand. Let me see. Maybe I can hold it with my leg. No. Hang on. Okay, so back to what I was saying is that slides in from the bottom. These 2 bolts get bolted right back in. This is a separate piece, the locking mechanism. It sets directly on top to where that chrome handle right there can push down on this, which activates the push rods from the sides. Now, the push rods from the sides are very easily done. You fold that little lip open, slide the rod in like so, and then clip it back, just like that. Just like, yeah, that. Anyway, yes, it's very stout to get it in there. Same on this one. Okay, which means at this point the handle's doing what it's supposed to. Now we're going to put some oil in there and make it work better. Okay, so let's do that. But that's essentially it, guys. You want to make sure this slides over that little See that little peg sticking up? That's your locking mechanism. So you want to make sure that stays in there like so. And then when you turn the key, this part of the rod goes up against that so that way it can't open. Okay? Okay, that's it. And there's your chrome handle installed. Hang tight, I'll show you what it looks like with the tailgate closed. Just like that, it's back together. First shut. Hadn't peeled the plastic yet. Working like it's supposed to. So, we will peel that. Is there any on the bottom? Nope. None on the bottom. And nothing. There you go. There it is. There you go. So left is locked, or I mean right is locked, and then left is unlocked. There's your chrome yeah, tailgate handle. Duh. So now we're gonna move on to mufflers. All right, everybody, it's been a long day. I think I'm fixing to get ready to shut it down. I need to probably shut this video down because this one's going long. I talked with a buddy of mine who's, let me clean this camera. So I talked with a buddy of mine who used to be the lead mechanic, or might still be the lead mechanic at Ford, where I used to live. And if anybody knows these Fords, it's him. And told him what it was doing and everything I've replaced and everything. Now, we got the manual gauge ordered, we got the boost gauge ordered, we got the pillar thing done and all that. So all that'll be here Tuesday, okay? In the meantime, we went ahead and put the Jones mufflers on, and I'll let you hear those in just a second, show them to you. But he was telling me that, you know, what he could look up and what factory calls for. Essentially what this is doing is, with everything being new in it, from what I can gather, is the gauge itself is working more as a switch instead of a gauge. Because I know when I put the manual gauge on the old pump, it never went to 0. It dropped down to 30, but never went to 0. So we're going to see what this one does when we put the manual gauge on it and go from there. But yeah, if it gets down to 30 and the gauge inside the truck saying 0, that ain't cool. So manual gauge, it is. I trust manual gauge is better anyway, because that switch, that gauge in there ain't nothing but an idiot like. Now, like I said, we put the Jones version of the Flowmasters in, and yeah, let's see how that turns out. All right, so keep in mind, guys, stock tips, didn't do nothing with those besides get that bend out mostly. But keep in mind, guys, I'm doing all this with a flux core welder, okay? Oh. Ba-bump, there they are, all installed and all welded in. So, not touching nothing, they're all solid. Like, get in there with my foot and hit them. They're solid, ain't going, I moved the whole truck, I better get out from under it. Anyway, but that's them, guys. That's the Jones mufflers. They look just like the Flowmasters. Now, I'll put you on a tripod and we'll fire this beast up and see how it sounds. I don't know about you, but I think that sounds pretty doggone good. I could be wrong, but that's what I think. So, you got a little bit of a burnout in this one. It's getting closer. We're getting so much closer. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this one. I'll get this one uploaded as fast as possible. And yeah, that's going to do it. Make sure you do me a favor and go ahead and comment, like, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification. So that way you'll know when the next video uploads. But guys, she's coming together really good. So anyway, that's going to do it for this one. Guys, y'all have a good one. God bless. Peace out.